Hey guys, it's Colin, and today we're back for part 2 of our Scratch introduction. Let's quickly go over what we did last video. So we went over these 5 categories: motion, looks, sound, pen, and data. So remember, motion is controlling your sprite's movements. Looks, change so that you can see. Sound, plays sound. Pen, draws stuff from where your sprite is moving, and data stores information. So now in these last 5 categories, first we have events. Now events is just saying like when something happens, then we do this. So then if we have when this green flag is clicked, then we can go to motion and then take a like move 10 steps. So now when we click this green flag, our sprite is going to be moving forward. Pretty simple. So then everything else is pretty basic too. When space key press, this can be any key. Well, except not your like F1, F2, but basically any key. So it works like that. When a key is pressed, when the sprite is clicked, when the backdrop switches. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but it's basically all like when something happens. However, there are 2 different things here. See this broadcast? Broadcast, well, there's when I receive, but then there's broadcast message. So this is just like sending out a message to all the sprites. Okay, now let's move on to control. Control is like, well, it's basically, controls. There you have like wait this many seconds. And then you also have repeat, like repeat 10, repeat forever. And down here, there's also a repeat until. And then, yeah, there's also a wait until here. And then you have if statements, and then stop all. So this is all pretty simple. You can have like move 10 steps. And you also have repeat. So repeat 10, this is going to move 100 steps. See? Pretty simple, just loops and stuff. And then if, then, that's like if something happens, then do this. And then if you have this one, the if else is going to be like if something happens, do this. But if it doesn't happen, then do the other thing. Stop all, this is just basically like when you press this red octagon, or is that an octagon? No, that's a hexagon. No, that's an octagon. Yeah, it's an octagon. When you press the stop sign, this is what it does. Okay, now these are kind of special. So this is like you can create a clone of myself. So let's try that. We click this. Now we will see, I just created a clone of the cat. Now you can delete the clones by just pressing the red stop sign. And then when I start as a clone, it's like the things in events. It's like when this happens, then you're going to do all of this. So yeah, when I start as a clone, then it's going to do that. Delete this clone, deletes the clone. Alright, now we can move on to sensing. Sensing is like, it's kind of like events, it's like when something happens, but sensing instead is like seeing if it happened. And then it's just like touching mouse if like this is touching mouse pointer, mouse down, all this kind of stuff. Now you will notice that these are like weirdly shaped, right? You have like pointy edges. That's because if you go back to control, take on if, you see on this if statement, this place has like a pointy edge shape. That's because you can put sensing stuff in here. So like if the sprite is touching the mouse pointer, then it does stuff. So then all these pointy edge stuff can go into slots that have a pointy edge. And then you see these are like circular, right? So that's basically the same thing. You go instead, like, let's go back to motion. So then motion, you see this has like a kind of circular shape. It's not as obvious as the pointy triangles. However, it's still there. So we can put in that distance. So then we can do this. Okay, let's click this. Yeah, see, you can, so basically these blocks go into, if it's not like just your basic rectangle like these, then it's going to go into whatever slot fits its shape. And ask and answer, this is like asking, so let's use this as ask what's your name, and then looks, say. Oh yeah, saying, like, these circular things can also go inside rectangle slots. So the pointy triangles can only go inside pointy triangles. However, these circular ones can go into rectangular shaped slots and also circular shaped slots. So let's try this. You go here, and then my name is Colin, so I'll put that here, and it'll say Colin. So asking is like asking something, and the answer is the answer you give. Now loudness, video, this is basic stuff. Okay, timer, timer is, you know, like a timer, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, timer, yeah. And let's go to operators. So operators is like the math of Scratch. So you have this addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So your basic symbols. Now pick random 1 to 10. You can change these values to anything. It's like kind of self-explanatory. It picks a random digit between 1 to 10. I'm pretty sure it is inclusive. However, I'm not sure. Not too sure. Now these, you know, greater, less than, equals to, greater than, also pretty basic. Okay, these are like and, or, and not. And is like you have two things. So then let's take on an and then we can take touching mouse pointer and touching this. So for this and block to be satisfied, it's gonna have to, both of these conditions have to be met. So then for this to return like true, when we click, when this is run, your sprite will have to be touching the mouse pointer and touching that color. So now let's get these out. Drag out our and. Or is kind of like and, except or only one of them has to be true. And then not, you know, this can't be true. This is kind of like Boolean algebra. However, we will get to that in a later video. Much later, actually. We're not going to cover Boolean algebra at all in Scratch. Let's take these out. Join. Hello world. This is just like joining two things. Letter 1 of hello world. You know, like the first letter. Length. Okay, mod. Mod is short for modulo. You know, let's see what it does. Let's go mod 2, 8. Say, let's go to looks. Say. Let's click this. Oh wait. 8 and 2, 0. See, modulo. Let's see if you can guess what it does. Maybe let's go 9 and 2. 1. However, 10 and 2. Okay, so if you have your guess, pause the video right now, go down to the comment section, guess what modulo does. And once you're right back, which I'm going to be assuming is right now, I'm going to tell you what mod does. So basically, modulo is like dividing 10 by 2, right? And then it returns the remainder of it. So remember, when we do 10 divided by 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5. There's no remainder. It's like perfectly divided. So it returns 0. However, when we do 9, 9 divided by 2 is 4 with a remainder of 1. So that's what I'm going to say. So it's like 9 modulo 2 is 1, but 10 modulo 2 is 0. And rounding, pretty simple. Squirt, this is square root. Okay, we don't have time to go through all these. Let's quickly do it actually. Absolute value. Floor cuts off the decimal value. Ceiling, I think, rounds it all the way up. Squirt gets a square root. Sine, this stuff is trigonometry. Sine, cos, tan, and actually all sine all the way to a tan, that's all trigonometry. Let's not get into this. Ln, I don't even know what that is. Log, logarithms. E, this is like e to the power of something. I don't know what e is. I'm pretty sure like 2.78 something. You know, it's not important. 10. Well, actually, e is important, but it's not important to us. So 10, so that's like 10 to the power of something. So yeah, this is just like basically the rest of the operations you could ever want. Now, more blocks. More blocks is like, you can create a block that does something for you. So if any of you like have ever like coded before, it's kind of like a function, right? Let's try this. You make a block. I already have one actually. Let's go here. Make a block, Samba. Alright. See Samba? So let's see what this does. Let's just drag out a Samba block. Click it. Yeah. So basically, as you can see, Samba has ran all the code we have underneath it. So it's like move 30 steps, repeat 10, and then turn 36 degrees. And then it just keeps going. So you're going to want to use more blocks if you have just like a piece of code that you're going to use over and over again. So instead of, typing all of this out, you can just take out one block. So if I wanted to like use Samba 20 times, I can just drag this out like 3, 4, 5 instead of, getting this and then like going to control forever and just like keep writing all of this out over and over again. So that's where more blocks are useful. And that is basically going to wrap up our video. So let's go over everything one more time. Events, like senses, is something when something happens, then it does the code underneath it. Control is a bunch of controls. Sensing senses if something is happening, and then it either returns true or false. Operators, math. More blocks, kind of like functions. Alright, so that's going to conclude our video. Now, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and always remember, turn on that notification bell because, YouTube subscribers are loopy, so see you guys next time.